So I have, I'm about halfway, well, a little under 8 more frames and I'm halfway. And what's happening right now is an autofocus. So let me just turn this down. And I have it set, I'll show you where that setting is after the autofocus completes. So I just got the autofocus working today on the C14. I've had it working on the Raza for probably 6 months or so. But I didn't have a camera that I could use with the C14, and now that I have the ability to run the DS24 in native mode, makes a big difference. So what you see here is, where's my mouse? Mousey, where are you? There you are. So these numbers right here are the HFR numbers. And you'll see these change as the focus changes. And what we want is a nice parabolic curve. And then your focus is right in here. Well, the feather touch, if the feather touch has a motor on, it's probably got an ASCOM driver. And then that's how Nina controls the motor focus. So you can see that my hyperbolic is 0.99, which is pretty good for the C14. So this autofocus is just about done. It is done. Oops. So this is the Lost in Space Galaxy, and I'm kind of guessing here as to what to do for exposure. I'm on 16 seconds with bin 1. And this is a stretched image. So this is what it looks like unstretched. As you can see, there's nothing there. I may be a little low, but that's okay. Okay, what are you talking about? I also have to learn how to set up my auto guider. You want the number lower. It does have a program to control the focuser. Okay, so if you might have to go to Feather Touch's website and download the ASCOM driver from the website, or it might even be on the ASCOM platform website under downloads, and they may have it on the website, the ASCOM website. Yes, lower is better. Yes, Jack. So you can see the stars are looking pretty good. And then I'll just go through yeah, chances are, because the ASCOM platform has been updated to 6.5 something, you may want to go to the website to see if there's a more current driver, because when they updated the platform, you had to update your drivers. So in the equipment, you'll see that I have the DS24 connected. I've got it cooled down to -0.2. It kind of fluctuates depending on the camera rate or the image rate. And the default gain is 100 to 15,000. So in the Mellencam world, that's 0 to 150. And the offset goes from 0 to 1984. Now, offset, I believe, is the black level in Mellencam Sky. And not ever knowing exactly what the black level was in Mellencam Sky, I was always setting it to 0. That's a mistake. You never want to have the offset at 0. You always want to have a little current go into each pixel because that kind of wakes them up. And then the USB limit defaults to 2. I have the offset set to 30. I'm in high gain mode, which is high contrast mode. And then this ultra mode is the low noise. I'm not binning average pixels. And I have the fan is on. It's either 1 or 0, on or off. So when you click on the equipment, everything that you have or that Nina can control is in this column here. So I don't have a filter wheel, but I do have a focuser. It's a moonlight, and it's being controlled via ASCOM. And I also have, because my moonlight came with a temperature sensor, I also have temperature compensation on. So after I get focus, it will sense temperature changes and focus based on those temperature changes. And you can control the percentage of temperature variation before it does another focus, but I will show you that in a minute. I don't have a rotator, but you can set up a manual one if you want. So like some scopes have a 360 degree marking on this back by the focuser, and you could use the manual setting here. And yeah, that'd be cool. And that's a godsend. That's a calculated algorithm that's that everybody uses, and it works very well. I'm surprised at how well it works. So if you have a rotator, you can pick your rotator from the list. If you have, I call them like setting circles, it'd be 0 to 360. Then you could use the manual rotator. And where this would come in handy is when you're in the framing assistant. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Then you have telescope, and I have my CGX connected. Excuse me, I'm just getting over a badass cold. Then my guider, and now it's doing another autofocus. Might have to back off on this a little bit. Don't need to have it be doing this many autofocuses. And I just use the stock settings for the guider. They're very well. So the switch, because I connected you'll see here that the Pegasus Astro Ultimate Power Box 2, that's that one that does the dew heaters, and it's got all the 12-volt supplies on it. You could control that from Nina if you had one. I don't have a flat panel, but you could control the flat panel in the flat panels wizard from here if you connect to it. I'm connected to the open weather map. And what that does is it gives me information on my area. And what you would do is go to their website, create an account, and then once you get the account made, you'll get a key sent to you, and then that key gets used. That key gets used in where is it? Equipment, right here, weather. So you would put your API key right here. I don't have a dome, and if you had any safety monitors on your remote observatory, you can connect to those too. So we'll go back to camera. Now the Sky Atlas is basically, we'll just search on it. Because these are nightly builds, sometimes I lose the images, and I just got an update and I lost the images. But you should see an image right here. And this gives you all the information on everything that's above the horizon. So you could pick one, but I don't like to use this, mainly because I have Stellarium set up. And I will show you that. The framing wizard is where what you did the other night, Jack, with your tile, you could do that in this program right here. So if I wanted to, let's just say I had M31, and with the C14, M31 is very small. I could tile. So you just, it'll give you the overlap that you need, 20%. If you had a rotator, you could rotate it, or rotate all of them, not just one. Now I have as you can see, I have a horizon file in that Nina is using, and it is obviously wrong. I just wanted to see if I could get one to work. And one of the things with the horizon file in Nina will let you can actually build a sequence, an advanced sequence that will look at the horizon data and know that you're behind trees and not start the sequence, which is why I was testing. So I have, as you know, I have quite a few trees. And then when you got your target, you would send it to, I'm using the simple sequencer because I'm not doing all night stuff, so I can just do a target. And then when it's finished, I'll just delete that target and go pick another one. The Flat Wizard is a godsend. I have a light panel, and it will automatically make your flats and flat darks if you want. I don't do that. I just make flats with it. And it will rotate the mount and then turn tracking off so that when if you do have a light panel on top of your mount, it won't fall off because the mount's still on. This is a very handy tool. The sequencer is where we're, this is all the information on what's happening right now. So I have the target start options. Yeah, let's do another autofocus. How about that? Is because I already had the camera cooled, pre-cooled, I'm not cooling it. I don't have to unpark the mount. But I do want to do a meridian flip if it happens to be something that I want to do. I could warm the camera. Let's just say this was the last sequence of the night. I could warm the camera and park the room. And then down here, some of my target options is to slew to the target, center on the target, I don't have a rotator. And then I can start guiding. Then for autofocus, I can start on, I can autofocus as soon as it gets to the target. The first thing it's going to do before it starts the sequence is do a quick autofocus. I could do one on a filter change. I don't want filters. Whatever I have is good for the night. I can do one after an elapsed time. I could do one after a number of exposures. I can do after a temperature change, after HFR increase, and then a percentage. And I think that's what it's doing right now. It's really not telling me. But what you want is a nice hyperbolic curve. And the focus is right here. And in the imaging tab, this is the nuts and bolts of Nina. This is where you have all your information. Icons are here. So this is the image right here. I could turn that off and on. The camera is right here. I don't have a filter wheel, so I don't use it. I have a focuser, which is right here. I don't have a rotator. What was that? Filter wheel. Rotator. Then the scope, which is right here. Telescope. The guider, which is down here. The sequence, which is here. I don't have a switch. My weather information is right here. I don't have a dome. Statistics are these. And these little dots represent your HFR, your autofocus, and the stars, the number of stars. Let's see, where was I? HFR history, flat panel, which I don't have, safety monitor, I don't have. Now 3D is this. So that's where my mount's looking right now. This is new. This just popped into Nina yesterday. And this is that app that I did my video on. What is it, GS 3D or something like that? That was a standalone program. Now it's integrated right into Nina. This is a plugin. So on the tool side, we have imaging, which would be this. Image history, which is this. Or I'm sorry, this is the imaging here. Plate solve, which is here. Polar alignment, which I do not have installed. Nina can now polar align. Yeah. You have to forgive me, the scope, or I'm sorry, the computer with the messages is 180 degrees from where I'm looking at them. So if you think I'm ignoring your questions, I can get them. Hey, Will. Autofocus is this. And you can do manual focus targets. And what that would be is if you had like a Batnoff mask, it will put up a little pattern that you have to match with your Batnoff mask. Then there's the optimal exposure calculator, and that is based off of a Sharp cap sensor analysis. And I did a sensor analysis for the 24 and it didn't look right to me, so I'm not using it. And then there's a filter offset calculator, and I don't do narrowband imaging, so I don't need to use that. So your options are as follows. Your general is where your profiles are. And the profile that I have currently loaded is called the DS24, blah, blah, blah. This is where you pick your screen's color scheme, and you can change that by clicking down here. You'll see these are my two color schemes. In the General tab, you want to make sure that you're in English US. You don't need to change this. Auto update source. And now I'm using the nightly builds, and we have to stay on the nightly builds until 1.11 becomes cooked. Because the Mellencamp Sky native stuff is in the nightly builds, the beta stuff. The Sky Atlas. This atlas is supplied by the developers of Nina, and it allows you to do offline. You don't need the web for this. You just need some storage, and you have to point to it. Some offline. It doesn't give you pretty pictures, but it gives you target locations, which I'll show you once I get into the framing list. The Sky Survey cache folder is every time you pick a target in the framing assistant, it caches that data. So you could go back into the cache and load an existing or an old target that you had, and all that data is still good. Log level is, I just leave that alone. The device pointer row is that's stock. Server enabled, I'm not using it. The profile chooser on startup is when you first start Nina, it asks you which profile you want to use. That's what that is. The equipment tab is where you can make some finer adjustments to what gets displayed sometimes. So not much is going to happen in the camera path. But with the telescope, this is where you would enter your focal length, your focal ratio, and then the settle time of the scope. And if you didn't want the syncs on plate solves, you would click this on here. But I like to always have the syncing done. Because with the C14, it's looking through the most trees, so I don't get the best star sense alignment, and this helps the plate cells. And then here's where I'm on the Open Weather Map API key. So you would just go to Open Weather Map, enter that into the search engine of choice, and then go to the website, make an account, get the key. Here, I don't have a filter window, so I don't need to worry about this. But the planetarium, you can use charts, Stellarium, SkyX, I don't know what the hell that one is, C2A, SkyTech X, and I use Stellarium. And in Stellarium, what you need to do is turn the server on. So you would go in to plugins and then remote sync. You want to make sure that that's on, loads at start. And then you're golden. We're not good at syncing. Go figure. So what I could do is, we'll just pick this for the heck of it. And I'd like to make sure that it's the current object. And then I can go into Nina. And then in the framing assistant, you just click on this little button right here, and you'll see that I'm using my image sources, hips to fits, sky survey. And I had the Lost in Space Galaxy here. Now I have the data that was brought over from Stellarium is now in Nina. And you'll see that the coordinates are correct. And this is how you can make a new sequence using Stellarium as your target picker. Let's see. Autofocus. Autofocus, I would have to point you to probably to a couple videos that I found really helped me. No sense doing it again. But autofocus is a beast, a little beastie. On my Celestron focus motor, and I think also with my Moonlight, it's 1,000 steps, one breath. So it's you really got to, as you can see, I'm using 220 step sizes to do my autofocus. And the reason why you want that much is you want to be about 3 times your low number to your high number, which I'm about 3.5, and I'm a little over 9.5, which is over 3 times, which is good, and that gives you a good curve. Now this little thing right here is my backwash. I don't quite have the backwash now, but I'm not going to worry about it because that's a great looking curve. Can't get much better than that. So because I'm not using filters per se, I always leave this off. My step size for the Moonlight is 220. My initial offset steps is 4, so it'll do 4 times this to move the focus out of focus so that it can start. When it starts here, and then it works its way down and then comes back up. So when those initial 4 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, basically the focus goes out of focus, and then it works its way into focus, and then it goes back out of focus, and then this curve, this hyperbolic curve, the base is where your focus will be. I am with the DS24. I'm in bin 1 for imaging, but I'm at 4 seconds because I am binning 2. So you can mix and match your bins. And what I've found is that with the DS24 in particular, and the C14 with its less than 1 degree field of view, that if I do everything like my autofocus and my plate solves in bin 2 with about a 4 to 6 second exposure, that everything works. And I was trying to do everything in bin 1, and I just was having a heck of a time. So I just said, right, let's do bin 2. And it's working. So these numbers right here are important. You want star HFR, You want to disable guiding during autofocus? No, you do not want to do that. Curve fitting strategy is hyperbolic. The settle time is 2 seconds. The number of attempts, I do 1, but if you're having trouble, you may need to do 2. The number of exposures per point, I do 1, you may need 2. Depends on your seeing and your light pollution. Use the brightness and the stars. I don't do that. Now this inner crop ratio is this. You don't want the very center of your image to be done for autofocus. In fact, this might be a little too small. And you also don't want the outer edge, and I might be a little too small here too. I might have to open or narrow it up a little bit. So it's picking stars to do autofocus around this area right here. So anywhere you see an HFR number is where it's doing the autofocus. You'll see that there's no autofocus HFR in here, and that's what you want. Where are we? So I have it set for 0.2 and 0.95. 0.2 is the small box, 0.95 is the big box. I think I might make this 0.9. Or maybe 0.8. Let's see what that looks like. And maybe 0.3. See what that looks like. And then, as I said, I'm binning 2. My backlash I have set for 120. I might make this 100. Because I might fix more. And then this R squared threshold, I have it set at 0.85. And where that comes into effect is when you do an autofocus. This number right here is that R squared. If you get that very close to 1, you're doing really good. And I'm very close to 1. Let's see. That was imaging. Imaging is where you pick your file saves. I like FITS. This is my target path. You would pick that. Then the image file pattern. You'll notice that it's all $$, then whatever the name is, and then $$. If you're using backslashes, those are folders. So I'm creating a folder called camera, which is the camera name. So if you look at camera right here, that's the camera name. Then I have binning. Binning is the camera binning. So I use this for when I make darks. Because I can make bin 1 darks and I can make bin 2 darks. Then I have another folder called image type. And image type would be like a flat, a dark, a bias. It will, depending on how you have it named in the sequence, which is done right here, you'll see that I have it. This is currently called a light, which is what it is. Well, it's finished. So let me pick a target because it looks like it's finished. And you can watch me do it. Little somewhere. Let's go to the little somewhere. So I picked my target And as you know, this is my big ass tree. So that's why I like the learn, because I get a pretty good handle on where my trees are. So now I'll go back in Nina, I'll go to the framing wizard. I will click on this little button here, and that's going to grab the coordinates. You'll see that it changes the name. Now it's going to load an image from the hips to fit sketch. Okay, there's the target. Now, if I used the Sky Atlas, which is where you get, this is the Atlas from Nina, and it's an offline Atlas. So if I pick that and then load the image, you'll see it happens much faster, but you just get the target name. You don't get an image. So I'm happy with this targeting, or I should say framing. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a simple sequence, and I'm going to delete the lost in space. And I want gradient flip on. I don't care about that. Slew to target, center target, start guiding, and I'm just going to do the HFR this time. But what I want to do is go back to the framing wizard, and I want to slew and center. So what's going to happen is it's going to slew to the target, because I don't know what the exposure I need to use. So I have to slew to the target, it will center the target. And then I can go into the imaging tab and take a few exposures so that I can figure out what I got to do exposure-wise. Yeah, the framing wizard is kick-ass. This is so cool. This whole program is cool. Once you get a feel for where everything is, you wonder how you never. I mean, it's a lot different than the EAA world. Okay, here's the target right here. So what it's going to do is do a little bit of a slew, and it's settling. You'll see settle here. Now it's doing another exposure, and we'll see that this has moved up into the center. There it is. So now that's done. So let me go into the imaging wizard. I don't know why. I just want to make sure that the exposure is good. Yeah, I'm gonna run this. So we'll do another one at 16 seconds. So I want to go back into the framing wizard because I haven't sent it to the sequencer. I think I did send it. Okay. So I'm going to do 160 frames at 16 seconds. This will be a light. One by one bitting, dither. And I'm going to dither every 12 frames. And I'm going to start. So it's slewing, So it's centered. And it's starting an exposure. Yes, it is. It is the target. Oops. So you can see that the adjustment I made to the autofocus boxes changed the settings. And I think this will give me better autofocus. I think that's the mode that it was in, Jack. I've noticed that. But as soon as it starts doing exposures, it goes away. Gotta remember, these are nightly beta builds too. Excuse me. Boy, I'm sleeping at the switch here. So let me go. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. It might go maybe 3 days. It depends on what they're working on. But they develop really quickly with this. Where were you the other night? The tulip, right? Oh, there it is. What the hell? Okay, let's do that. I'm gonna go here. Yeah, the SDK is basically a DLL library, and it gets loaded. It will become part of the build, and they just point to it. Okay, so let's clear this off. Let's go to the sequencer. Yes, I'm doing. I found it. I'm just loading an image on another sheet. So this is the autofocus jack over here. So let me bring it up on the bigger screen. It may not translate here. Okay. Hey, Mike. All right. So I want to do a simple sequence. Meridian flip on. Smooth, turn, rotate, autofocus on HSR. I'm going to do 90 and 60. light, bin, dither, every 6 foot. Okay, it did it. How many? 90. I love it. I love it. Okay, so I got 90 total, 60 seconds. Let's start it. Ooh, nice. Very close. This is a faint one. Wow. Oops. Clear. It might help. Yes, the tulip. Well, that's on the other machine, Jack. Sorry. I have two scopes going. Oh, there it is. Nice. Yeah, that's because the other machine is off screen. This one is on the broadcast slide here. So let me go back to. So, as I was saying, anytime you have a couple dollar signs, then your item of interest and a couple more dollar signs, and if you're using backslashes, those are folders. If you use a underscore, that is becomes the file name. So I have a folder with the camera, which would be the DS24, my bin level, my image type, which in this case is lights, my exposure time, which is 60.00 seconds, and the name now becomes image type, lights, exposure time, 60 seconds, my gain, my offset, and my frame number. And that is something that you would see. Go into my folder. Here's the DS24. There's the bin one. Lights, 16 seconds. And you'll see that I have 185 images now. And that's because it's putting them all into here. So I'll have to sort that out. I screwed up. What are you going to do? And that's how you change. As you can see, what is up here is shown here. So anything with a space, that's the camera name, then the bin, then the lights, then the time, and then the title of the file. And then for meridian flips, at 5 minutes after and 10 minutes, what is that? Minutes after meridian, max minimum. Okay. You can set up how far into a meridian flip you want to go. So the computer is going to calculate in minutes roughly where that will happen. And it will stop the tracking, move the mount, do a plate solve, and match up the framing only on the opposite side. Then the image options, I have everything turned on, and that's what you see here. Because I have a color camera, and I need to debayer the images. This is where if you had another camera, you get a sharp cap sensor analysis, you would enter that here. These advanced settings I do not change. These are all good enough for me. I changed the location of the Nina default folder for sequences because I don't like keeping all this crap on my C drive, so I move it off on my data drives. I don't collapse the templates. You know, this is all stuff you can figure out. It's not that hard. And if you ever messed up your layout, you can reset it here. It will go back to the default layouts. For plate solving, I'm using ASTAP. And I have ASTAP configured. I have astrometry.net configured, and you would need a key again, and you get the key by creating an account, and they'll send you a key. I also could do all-sky plate solver if I wanted to, but I just ASTAP is screaming fast. I can't believe how fast it is. And because I'm at bin 1, I'm downsampling, which is like a bin 2. It'll downsample the image by 2, which is like bin 2. The search radius, with such a narrow field of view, I go 180. It seems to be very good. And the maximum number of objects, if you have too many, it will confuse the plate solver. So 500 is the default. I leave it at the defaults. I use an exposure of 6 seconds, binning 2, no gain. My pointing tolerance is 1 arc minute. You could go probably to 0.75. I wouldn't go any lower than that. Then what will happen is with our particular, with consumer-based mounts, prosumer mounts, you're going to wind up jumping around the target because they aren't that accurate. The rotation tolerance, we don't have rotator. Number of attempts, 1 is good enough for me. Delays between attempts, 2 minutes. That's if you have a failure, it will wait. And that's it. The only other one I think I did not show you are the plugins. And I have 2, the custom darks and the scope. 3D view of the scope. There's exoplanets in there now. That's a new one. A lot of these are really made for imagers, not so much for guys with color cameras. So I don't really need them. I will try the 3-point polar alignment just to see how well my pole master works, but I'm still going to stick to the pole master. So all this data is there to tell you, like if a sat flew through here, you could thumbs down this image and it will not load it into your, it will mark it as a bad file. And if you try to load it into something like Deep Sky Stacker or Zero, it will see that flag and not use the image. Yeah, she's looking up, buddy. Yes, I am. 46 of 160. So I like to take a little extra data, only because this is the first time I've actually used Nina with the 24. So I'm kind of guessing at exposures. I'm kind of eyeballing it. And I could be totally out to lunch here, but hey, only one way to find out. So now I'm doing another autofocus. And it's pretty cold here, so I have a feeling my tube's stretching. So because I only have one sequence in there, it stops. So you'll see it will, the square will turn to a play button, and it just stops. I could have set up multiple targets, and then when it was done, it would go to the next one, and then if there was another one, it would go to the next one. But kind of learning on the fly here with some of this, especially with the 14. My other scope is I'm taking much more data with the other scope than I am with 24. That's a good curve right there. So that knocking the backlash down helped the curve. You're lost, but loving it. I got news for you, Mike. For 67 years, I've been lost. Going on 68. It's a whopping 44 degrees out, boys. Got the winter gear on. I know this isn't much to look at. It's not like EAA. But if you have any questions, let me know. We'll try and answer them. Well, that's cold for you. Man, swamp will be steaming, buddy. So if you have any questions, ask away. I'm kind of going through everything. I can get a little more specific now. Oh, that's not good. Stay safe. I could probably talk about the where are we here? Autofocus a little bit. So you gotta find out what your how many steps you have for one revolution, and that's going to determine this number, your step size. And what a lot of people, the mistake that a lot of people make is that they use too small of a step. And when you're doing the curve, the low and the high has to be a multiple of 3. So if you're at 3 on the low, you want to be at least 9 or above on the high. And that will give you the best curve. And when you're first starting out, you don't do any overshoot. And that's because you want to find out how much backlash you have. And backlash will show up as a line, and then it'll kind of flatten out, and then go back down again. That's your backlash, this little line. And in the graph, you'll see numbers. And you want to do the best you can to figure out what it is. It could be 100, it could be 10, it could be 25, it could be 200. That's the number that gets put in here. That's your backlash. And you'll do another, then you would want to run another backlash after you change the numbers, or I'm sorry, another autofocus. And then see how the graph looks. So after, how do you turn them into, that's where I would use serial. So I would use serial to do, I would load my lights, my darks, my bias, and into folders for serial to use. And I have a computer that isn't part of the acquisition stuff. Then that lets me take and play with the data. And I do that often. Serial is kind of a it's another open source project. And its roots started in Linux. And they ported to the Mac, and they ported it to Windows. And it will stack. It will register stack and do a little bit of like planes, trains, and automobile removal. Sometimes it's not that good at it. I like to go through my data a little bit before I send it to Cyril. But what Cyril does, it does very well. And you'll get a linear file that you then load back into Cyril. And then you can start stretching it. And then I use Cyril to get the final stretch. And then I'll go into Photoshop to sweep. So here's, you'll see we'll get, it's moving the focuser. And I'm at 10. So my low has got to be between 3 and 4. So we'll kind of watch the graph. So we went to 8. Probably a little aggressive focusing. That's okay. It doesn't take long. And then this 0.99, 1 is perfect. So 0.99, I'm not going to argue. So I'm probably down around 3. So that's 4, 3, and we're about 10. So that's a multiple of 3. Or better, which is what you want. But working in fits files, it takes a little bit. It's not like working with a TIFF file. Because a linear file is black. If it's, you might see a few stars. So this is a great looking curve. That's a good focus. So now what's going to happen is it's found its let me go back to here. And if we go to the focuser, you'll see that it's going to move. And it did. Look at the stars. They look pretty good. In PhD, you'll see that this little triangle that's moving, that was a dither. It takes a little bit to get your head wrapped around working with fits files. But once you get it, then it really is a much better way to work with the data. Because you're working in 32-bit minimum 32-bit files. In fact, the stretched file, once you get the stretched file, it is also 32-bit, but Photoshop can't handle the 32-bit file that's Cyril. So I just convert it to a 16-bit file. And then that's what I work in anyways. And all my plugins are 16-bit, so it's a good match. It's a good fit. It depends on a dither is very dependent on your exposure. So if you're exposing for 60 seconds, then every 4 frames is every 4 minutes. I am dithering every 12 frames, I think. I could be wrong. Yes, every 12 frames. So that's a little over. But I have much more focal length than what he's using, so I need to be a little more accurate with my dithering. They're not accurate. I need to dither just a little more because I have such a narrow field of view. That if I do have any walking elements, the dither will take care of it. Hey, Don. Long time no see. I don't like the dither too much because it will slow down the image acquisition. 160 frames. If you're dithering at 12, that's taking a few seconds to do the dither. Well, that's good. Did you sell? Oh, good. You sold. Excellent. Congrats. I'm lifting a virtual beer for you. One thing at a time, buddy. Wow. My tulip is looking very good. Jeez. Way to go. You've been able to, let's say you've been busy, so I was wondering, have you been able to get out? Well, that's good. So this must be a temperature just. Cool. It's I think it's dark for me. The sun sets at like 5:30 now. But next week we lose an hour, I think. Is it next week? Fall back. So it'll be like 5 when the sun sets. The 8th? So that's 2 weeks. I gotta get these nights in before I can. Because I get 3 months of straight clouds pretty soon. Well, that looks like one of the scopes is going to get a plane through. Sunday. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have to see. I was doing an autofocus. Maybe I got lucky. Texas. For what? Camping deal? Nice, sweet. Why is it focusing? Maybe I should turn off the conversation. Cool. How far is he from? Is he like west or down towards the Brownsville? What is it down there? Brownsville. You should go see Elon. Look at his lawn ornaments. Okay, northwest of Boston. So that's quite a ways from Brownsville. Northwest. That's like just getting into the mountains. It sounds like Route 66 area. Oh, cool. Turn the temperature conversation off. Because it's going wacky. There we go. There's my tulip. Yeah, they update them pretty quick, Jack. I think 170 gave us this, the 3D scope giver. It was 170. was dead center with that image. There are a lot of stars in this area. We've had so much rain around. My front yard is like a swimming pool. Very cold one. And I'm probably going to get dew, I think, tonight. Because it's just so freaking humid. I'll tell you what, if it was snow, we probably would have had 5 foot. That's how much rain we got. Unreal. Yep. You would think. I don't think I've ever remembered the fires being this bad. I mean, they were all over the place. The whole world was on fire. Talk about biblical. Man. This is this thing. Oh, not like the sequence. 10%. First one is doing. I don't think I've ever remember smelling the wood burning like that. I mean, it was all summer. It smelled like somebody was burning wood. Include where the hell? Okie doke. Good. Where do I want to go next? It is right there. Turn this off. This might be a good one to do next. Hey, Rusty. So I'm just testing Nina. So it's not exactly an EE session here, Rusty. See you, Mike. I don't quite have everything dialed in just yet. So just to kind of fill everybody in, I have when it doesn't autofocus, I have restrictions. I'm not taking any star inside this box or outside this box. So anything in this area, you will see that I have an HFR number. And those are the stars that the autofocus is using in the routine. Because you really don't want the very center of your optics, and you don't want the outer edge. So if you can find the sweet spot, which for me I think is right about here, then your stars generally will have good stars edge to edge. So if you look at this guy right here, you'll see that that's not a bad star for being at the outer edge of a uncorrected C14. And a lot of that will go away when you stack. You'll get rounder stars. And I'm just exposing in this particular case, I'm exposing just to get enough of the galaxy in view, and I'm hoping the stack fills in the rest. And I'm grabbing 160 frames at 16 seconds, so I'm about 35 frames away. One of the things you'll see, the bit depth of the camera is 14 bit. The file that's being saved is a 16-bit file. And that's a good thing. Because the program that I'm using to pre-process the images is looking for 16-bit data. So I'm going to go to the triangulum next after this. Should fit that whole frame. Be interesting to see how it handles an autofocus. Because one of the reasons I want to go here is just to see my good points and my bad points. So I'm using which we will see when I go to the next target. When I plate solve, I'm using bin 2 to plate solve. And I believe that I'm only doing 6 seconds. And that's working very well. With the very narrow field that C14 is. All Skype plate solver, I mean, grabs the image. solves it like in under 15 seconds, which is like excellent. So I've got 30 more frames. 30 more frames is... Let's see. 16 times 30 divided by 60 is 8 more minutes. We'll go do that triangle. And I'll show you the taking the data from stellarium and centering, framing. So you thinking about getting another dog, Jack, or are you just gonna go with the one and for a while? What happened? Oh, you know what happened? I betcha. Damn it. Stop the sequence. Let's go. I betcha it didn't do the meridian flip. I betcha. Yep, it didn't do the meridian flip. One for now, yeah. It's tough. It's tough when you're a little older and I don't know. My mom is she's 90 something and the dog is 9, so or 10. And she'll want another one. She's too damn old. Okay, let's do this. Okay, guys, what I will show you is in Stellarium, I have picked the triangle. And it's my current object in Stellarium. So now I'm going to go to Nina. And I'm going to click on the get coordinates from the planetarium. And hopefully, there she be. Now, she's a little bigger than my field of view. So what I could do is I can tile it. And if I had a rotator, I could rotate, but I'm not going to do any of that because I don't really want to tile at the moment. I just want to see what I can see. So now that I'm happy with this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to center, slew, and center. And the reason I'm slewing and centering is because I'm kind of guessing at my exposures, I have to be on the target before I start doing it. So I'm going to use the framing assistant to slew and center the target. So what's going to happen is slewing now. You can see down at the bottom, it's taking an exposure, and not bad. We can see. Excuse me. See the target. It's not quite centered, so it's going to do a slew. It's settled. It's going to take another exposure. And we will see that it moved. Now it's centered. And for all intents and purposes, it is done. So I'm going to send this to the sequencer. I'm going to do a simple sequence. I will take 160 just because I can. I don't know what I want there yet. I'm going to dither every 12 frames. So now that I'm on target, let's take a quickie exposure and see what's here. I might go higher just to see what we can see. And let's leave it there. This is how it's going. So I am going to go here. And this is dash 2 from today. Today is 10/27. I think. What is 27? 21. Yep. Works great. Okay, so what should happen is 160. I want to. It's already slewed. It's already centered. I want to start guiding. We'll do it on 12% again. We'll say, let's see what the guider's doing here. I didn't have to do that, but I did. So now it's going to do an autofocus. Just because it can. And I'm very curious to see how it handles a galaxy. Because the galaxy is filling darn field of view. It seems to have found enough stars to do it on. Now, Jack, if you set up your refractor, little refractors, or even another refractor that's on your astrophysics, you could use that to do this. Pick targets and slew to target center. If you wanted to tile, you could set up a sequence of those tiles, and then when you're done in the EAA world, just go to the next sequence. That's done in the you go to options and autofocus, and that is this number here. 0.3 is the inner crop ratio, and then the 0.85 is the outer crop ratio. So this is the 0.85, and this is the 0.3. Guiding. Doesn't look like it's good. Let's see. Settling. Oh. We'll just make it go. Interesting. Let's stop this. Start guiding. There we go. Whoa. Stop. I think I picked the wrong. Yes, I did. So let me reset this. There. One second it was doing. There we go. So I would say that the 102, because it's already on the astrophysics. If you don't have a lot of work to do, that would be the one you want to try Nino. So you would use that scope to control the mount. Okay, Jack. Talk to you later. Glad you could stop by. Oh, okay. I mean, it won't matter. The 102 would probably be a better fit for the 16 because the 16 is such a narrow field of view. And the 102 is a little longer than the 61.